And I rise like the day.
One of the first things that we're told, and one of the reasons why a lot of people have a hard time with the idea of a magic wand, okay, this unrealistic image of who I want to be and where I want to be, is because from the time we're born, how many people in here have kids? Okay, a lot of people. I have 3. Okay, and they get into everything. So the first thing that we end up telling our kids a lot of times, and I try to not do this, is we tell them no. Okay, no, don't touch that. Stay away from that. You can't do that, those type of things. So statistics show that we tell our kids no 9 out of 10 times. Okay, so what happens is this. We start becoming conditioned. We become conditioned of the things that we shouldn't do, what we can't do, what we're not supposed to do, okay? And this continues on throughout our childhood, okay? And it's not just our parents, of course, that are doing this. Our aunts, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters, okay? When you get into school, it's even your teachers, okay? I've had teachers that told me that I'm not good at this and just, I shouldn't even be doing it anymore. Okay, I've had coaches that said, that kind of downplay you and talk down to you, saying you're not going to be able to do this. I've incurred that my entire life. Okay, when I told somebody that I wanted to be a bodybuilder, they said, no, you're too tall, too skinny, you don't have the frame for it. Okay, so we're told no. Okay, we're told what we can't do, what we're not even capable of doing, over and over and over. Okay, throughout our lives. So overcoming that is a major, major obstacle for a lot of people. And that's, again, one of the reasons why they can't grasp that magic wand, that idea in their mind of where they want to be or who they want to be, okay, or where they're going. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, okay? Brain studies show that we have 60,000 thoughts a day. I'm not sure who takes the time to count that, but that's a lot of thoughts. 90% of those thoughts are the same ones as we had yesterday, and most of those thoughts, believe it or not, are negative. Okay? That's 22 million thoughts in a year. Think about that right there. 22 million thoughts in a year. And if most of those are negative, what type of impact does that have on you and your ability to become better, amazing, or extraordinary? That's a major impact, wouldn't you say? Absolutely. Whoops, that's backwards. There's forward. So I'm just going to go through a couple examples real quick here just to drive my point home. This guy here is named Brian. He's a client of mine that I used to train. And he was a great guy to train because this guy had energy like probably no other client I've ever had. He was a tall, skinny guy. His goal, whenever a client comes in, I always talk to them about their goal, and I need to know what their purpose is. They need to be able to, talk it out to me and know what it is, and then that's when I devise a plan to help them move toward it. Okay, so his goal was to be a power lifter, and he's a tall, thin, skinny guy. So you can imagine that whenever he told somebody about his goal, how most people would tell him, that's not possible. You're not built for that. Okay, and so Brian would come in to the gym every day, and he'd be like, "Okay, man, what are we doing today? What are we doing today?" And he was just infectious, a smile, happy, could not wait to get into his workout. And he was like that every day. And so, but then sometimes he'd get into his workout and he'd get really down, saying, "You know what? I told my friends that I'm going to be doing powerlifting, and they told me that I can't. Why are you doing that? You're too skinny. You're never going to do good in it." And he'd go on and on about all the things that they told him that he was not capable of. And I would tell him, "Brian, listen, man, you cannot listen to other people. If this is your goal and this is what you want, you have got to move forward, block out what they're saying, and literally be indifferent of what they're saying, and just keep moving forward, okay? Know what you want and go after it." And we'd have this conversation a number of times, and he always came in a good mood, okay? But sometimes, he'd get down, and then I'd try to bring him back up, have a great workout. So I wanted to kind of prove to him that, what he thinks and how he thinks affects his whole entire body. And so he comes in one day, and he's like, "Okay, man, what are we doing? What are we going to do today?" And I'm like, "Brian, are you okay?" And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, yeah, he goes, I'm fine. I'm like, man, you don't look good. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay. Keep talking for a few minutes. I'm like, man, are you sure you're okay? I've never seen you look like this before. You don't look good at all. He's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it was the eggs I had this morning. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm okay. So, we keep talking for a little bit more. I walk him back to the treadmills. Okay, and I said, okay, why don't you just get warmed up? And I'm like, are you sure you're okay? Because seriously, I've never seen you look like this before. You do not look good at all. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, listen, warm up. Don't overdo it. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I said, but man, you just do not look good. And so I walk away. I come back, okay, in 5 minutes. And Brian is standing there with his feet on the sides of the treadmill. His head is down, okay, like this, okay? No joke. And here's the part that shocked me. When he lifted his head up, his face was entirely white. He looked dark under his eyes, and he literally looked sick. And I was like, oh my God, this little experiment worked better than I thought it was gonna. So when I walk up to him, I said to him, hey, are you okay? He's like, no, man, you know what? I don't know if it's my eggs or what it was, but I just do not feel good at all. He goes, do you mind if we just don't have this session? He goes, and then I'm just gonna go home and lay down. I'm like, yeah. So get back a hold of me when you feel better, and we'll get back at it, And so he comes back in a few days later. He's like, man, he goes, I haven't been that sick in a long time. He goes, I was in bed all day long. He goes, I just did not feel good. He goes, I didn't even go to work. And I'm like, Brian, listen. Brian, number one, of course, respects me, and he was, at least he did before this probably, but I don't know how afterwards. But anyways, I tried to tell him, listen, what I did is I was just, feeding, I planted a seed when you walked in the door. I planted a seed, telling you that you didn't look good. I said, you were totally fine. I said, you came in like you do every day. And I just said, you don't look good. He goes, no, you don't understand. He goes, I have not been that sick in I don't know how long. I was sick. I said, I'm not debating that you weren't sick. I said, but it all started from what I had told you, that you didn't feel well, or you didn't look well, and then you cultivated enough time so that by the time I came back, you were literally sick. He goes, no, absolutely not. He wouldn't accept it. So the bottom line is I couldn't even convince him, okay? But I knew, okay, that seed that I planted, he cultivated it over and over enough times in a very, very quick period of time to the point where he actually physically was sick, number one, okay, and you couldn't convince him otherwise, okay? And that's the point, okay? And this is what I try to teach the people that I work with, is that the things you think, okay, how you think and what you think about, it controls every single cell in your body, okay? So that's where it starts, is controlling the way you think first and foremost, okay? So if you were to think about something that upsets you, okay? Let's say a family member died, or some type of situation where you could really think about it over and over again, and to the point where it brings you to tears, okay? When you think about that thought, of course, your whole physiology changes, your posture changes, your breathing changes. Every cell in your body slows down, okay? But that's just from what you're thinking. Okay, in the same respect, I know you guys have a lot of goals you got to meet. Okay, you guys have to be on point. You have to, close these numbers and that and this and that. And there's a lot of stress associated with that. Am I right? No? Yeah? Okay, you guys better take your upgrade. Okay, it's in your bag. Drink it. Okay? The bottom line is this, okay? If you think about something that's stressful, okay, it stresses you out, that thought of stress tells your adrenals to produce cortisol, your body's stress hormone, okay? And what cortisol does is it tells your body, I need to take the path of least resistance. I don't want more stress. So what does it do? It starts breaking down muscle tissue. Your body's catabolic. It starts breaking down muscle tissue, slowing down your whole metabolic rate. Okay, it also puts your body into a state of what's called gluconeogenesis, where your body starts to store fat, okay, quicker and easier. You've heard about having stress and putting that weight around the midsection? That's what happens right there, okay? And that's just from that stressful thought that you had, okay? You're telling your body to produce that cortisol. That cortisol has a result within your body, okay? So that's how your body works. But it stems from what you're thinking and what you cultivate over and over again. Again, your whole physiology changes. So real quickly again, let's think back, okay? Let's think back to that magic wand, that idea of you at extraordinary, okay? You at perfection, whatever that is to you, okay? That right there is an empowering idea, okay? An empowering idea that gets every single cell in your body moving, okay? It picks up, your breathing increases, your sense of well-being increases, your productivity increases when you think about this idea of you beyond where you've been or where you intend to go, okay? The magic wand is where it all starts, okay? Because when you have strong purpose, okay, a strong magic wand, you will take the steps that it takes, go through the discomfort that it takes to get there, okay? Because this is strong in your mind and you look forward to it, okay? So if you've ever gone after the goal and you've been the 98% that hasn't reached their goal consistently over and over again, you've missed step one. Step one is developing that strong purpose, that strong drive, that magic wand of what you want and why you want it, okay, in order to be able to move forward. So again, what you think controls every single cell in your body, okay? So you've got work to do. You got to start controlling your thoughts and the way you think and what you think about, okay? Start thinking about things that empower you and move you forward.